We're going to do a quick run through of your van because we're shipping it to you. You get a DO45 pin. Now it's got a much bigger thread on it, so you've got to get yourself a hitch that's got that bigger thread. When it locates on, you basically lock it on like that. To get it off, you got to push that button down, pull up the next one, slide it across, and drop it out. So it's not a complicated thing, but if you know what you're doing with it, it makes it easy. I'll leave that attached so I don't lose it now. You got your handbrake. If you haven't applied your handbrake, pull your emergency brake. That's what it's going to be on there for. Hopefully you have already got all your wiring sorted for your reverse camera, your Anderson plug, and your 12s. If not, you've probably got a real small chance of getting us to change any of that for you before it goes away. That handle is to hold the top of this when you screw it onto your ton. It's also got a long neck opener on there, so it'll come in handy for you. Gas bottles, both full. Leave that pointing at the one that you're using, not that. Leave it on that one. We're using that one for today's demo. You got an outside tap. Try and remember to turn it off. Make it part of your hook up, unhook routine. Makes life a bit easier, you don't lose all your water. We'll talk more about water. You got your two toolboxes. They're the same key as each side of each other. So I'm going to lock this stuff up as we go around, because again it's going into state, so we don't want to leave it unlocked for things. And we'll show you inside where we stash them. The driver or the transport will have your door key, so make sure you get it off him. Any of these silver style locks are all the same as each other, and it's storage for whatever you're going to put wherever you're going to put it. Again, we'll lock all of this stuff up for you because there's no point not having it unlocked for transport. Your 15 amp cord and your circuits outside. That's where they suggest we put them. Your stabilizer leg, very easy. Take the weight, pull the handle, drop the leg down to an angle, or vertical is best. There's a bar in the boot, so tension it up or down. Make sure you put it away from travel. We're sick of replacing them. Fridge vents, keep them clean. Try not to squirt up. Sounds obvious, people do it all the time. Now, the boots with the black lock is a different key to your silver lock. But what you want to do when you get this is unpack everything and have a look for stuff. Up in here, for example, is the 240 volt power point for your fridge. Michael can't get his camera in there, but I know it's right here by my hand. So if one day your fridge isn't working on 240, something that you packed in there has gotten in the way. And we'll lock, like I say, we're locking everything as we go, just peace of mind for you more than anything. The slide out controls we'll show you from inside. Your toilet before we jump into some fun stuff down here. Very easy concept. Little green lever at the bottom, pull it up, bring your cassette out. You got a travel handle. To empty it, unscrew it, push that little green button, releases pressure, it'll pour out. If the cassette's missing, you can't physically open the toilet from the inside, so the missus or the kids can't get into it. Make sure it locks back in, you hear it go click. Use the chemicals, so everything breaks down for you. And we'll lock that one up too. Now, your water in. Come on down here with me, Mick. We've got mains pressure running through your van. That's the front one. Different with the Lotus Hollywood to any other van. This is where you fill up your water tanks. Front tank, back tank. It's a one-way valve so it won't leak out. This is to stop your front tank emptying through your pump system or your back tank. So you can use it to pick which water supply you want to use, or both. So some people use it to make sure they've still got water in one tank, others use it to change their weights of the van. That's up to you. But yeah, remember that these are your water fillers, so you don't have to fill up like everybody else does. Now, your water coming out comes out here, so hook up the hose, feed it off somewhere. We'll make a small puddle here, which isn't going to bother you, but might bother our boys. While Mickey's down here, that's your jacking point. You get one on each side and it jacks in the front loop. Make sure it locks onto it. Now, you do have an outside shower. Hot and cold water. Really good for washing the dogs, washing your feet, washing the kids, whatever you're up to. It's speaking of hot water, this is your hot water service. This little switch is just your on-off switch. We've now turned it on, so if we run a hot tap, we're going to have hot water. It's an on-demand system, so it's fairly bulletproof. You can't change anodes, there's not any in there. Tyre pressures, we've gone around, put 50 in them all, we'll check your wheel nuts before it goes on transport. More of your same boots. And again, it's up for you to work out what storage you're going to squeeze in where, because you've got massive storage in these things. And you've got to be reasonably tall to lock that one. Keys. Let's try those keys. Seems like there's a lot of keys, but if you put the right stuff in the right cupboards, you're not going to need all these keys all the time. That might be the missus stuff. That's where she can put her gear. Your outside TV box. So you've actually got 3 TVs in this. That's a lot of TVs to watch. You do have options for 240 volt power, so you can charge up things if you're at camp, and your feed's coming out from your hard drive stuff. The TV remotes will leave inside just in case. Now when you lock this one, it's just a matter of turning the keys. And pushing them in. That's now locked. Easy peasy. You drop down a table, because that's not your table. You do have a little whiskey light in there. Make sure you shut it off for travel. Because you've got outside TV, hook up an electric fry pan to it if you need to. You've got cupboards all over the place in this thing. It's ridiculous how many cupboards they try and give you. And your front boot, so you've got your jack, your stabiliser arm handle, and a wheel brace. Get yourself a decent wheel brace. Nothing worse than trying to change a tyre with something that you think's a bit ordinary. But we'll close that up now because it's going on transport. Hopefully you got some good trips planned so that it'll see more time on the dirt than anywhere else. And here we are back on this side of your box, which some people set up with a fridge slide. You guys will work out what you're going to put in where. And that's that big kick-ass key, which I'll put in my back pocket. So we'll lock him up as well. They're going to love seeing this rock up somewhere. They want an excuse to come inside and have a look. If you get your awning right, they don't have that excuse. Yours is insanely easy. You got a middle brace though, which stops it sagging in long trips. So loosen that off, pull that down a bit. Releases the pressure up there. Now inside here is your awning. Push the out button. Sounds ridiculously easy, doesn't it? But of course it is that easy. Wind it out, just hold your finger on the button. And she'll come out to a nice height, something like that. Now this bar here, pull out your little safety pin, which I'm just going to put on your table. Because then you can swing this bar up, loosening off everything on the way through. Of course, being brand new, it's nice and stiff. It doesn't want to do what I want it to do. It slides out, latches into your awning there, and you've got that as a little tensioning jig. So it just takes up the tension. If you come back up here, and hopefully you're tall enough to get there, you can swing down a leg and peg it into the ground. You've now got a brace up here to stop it sagging. You've now got a brace here to stop it sagging or to stop the kids. You don't have to use it, but you've got it there so you can show off. It's just an extra piece you've got to worry about putting away when it's time to pack it away. Look, missed. This is why you've got to be reasonably tall sometimes. There we go. So slog it in there. Release your pressure a bit, makes it easier to get it out. If you remember to undo everything, swing it back down. Slide all these bits back up inside each other. This magic little pin just slots in there. I make it say it's easy, but it never works as easy as it is when you're on video. And leave that down so that when you pull your awning up, it's not jumping over it. And wind it in. ridiculously, make sure you push in when you go in so the awning wraps up and it spills any water or leaf matter off the top. Needless to say, if it's windy, put it away anyway. Because it is a nice big awning. Once it rests back in there, take your finger off the button, brace that up, make sure all your bits here are all locked in again. Easy peasy. Now I can put the table back away because I don't need it anymore. Now we're about to jump inside. Before Mick does, or Mark does in this case, the next switch along is your step. So that was your awning, that's your step. Push your step out, make sure you hear it go click before you stand on it. Now I'll ask Mick or Mark to jump in. Now we're into the fun part of your world. Up behind Mick, Mark, is your control panel. So this is the brains of the operation. Up here, which we've blitzed by, the black ones are random light switches. You'll work out which switch does which. The white one is your 12-volt isolator. So you turn that off for storage mainly. These are your slide out switches. We'll come back to them and we'll come back to your stereo. But here's the brains. You've got the red arc system, so you can flick through this once I get past setting the time and the date to come into different settings about what your van is doing. So it's worth having a play with it, and I'll set the time. Can't remember, we're going to Victoria or Perth? Can't remember. I'll try and set the time for whichever state you're going to. Your inverter control's up here, so if you want to turn your inverter on, that'll be the switch for it. We've got to physically turn it on though, which is down under that couch, because we don't like leaving them on. Your tank gauges, fresh water, that's your 2 tanks. The red light tells you that your hot water service is on. If I run the hot tap, you'll see that it fires up to indicate the water's running. Yes, the pump's running, so it's got water coming through it, and this will light up with the gas symbol in a minute. There she goes. So she's registered now that we're trying to make it hot. The more you use it, the quicker this will happen, and away it goes. The trick with it is you can set the temperature all the way up to 50, but it won't let you run the tap on flat out. It's a bit of a safety thing they put in there. When you turn the hot tap off, it shuts itself off, and it reads the temperature coming down. Now that's running all the way from the back, all the way to the front. So if you're having a shower, at least it's all the way down the back there. What these switches can isolate is other things. So that isolates your water pump. So if you're going to hook up to mains water and run the hose pressure, leave the pump off. It'll still run through everything. We're using mains water, tank water, so we need that. Your fridge. If you turn that off, your fridge will not run on 12 volt. So leave that on most of the time. It's more of a storage switch as well, so it doesn't drain your batteries when you run, and the aircon isolator. So some people will turn some of this stuff off for travel. If any of these pop out, you've had a 12 volt upset, your mate's plugged in too many fridges outside or something like that. Now your fridge. I don't know if you can see the frost coming out of there, but I only turned it on about 2 hours ago. Being a compressor fridge, it'll get cold really fast. The little symbol just tells us it's on. If you tap the button, it tells us we're on maximum cold and we're plugged into power. If we lost power, it goes to battery. That's what a compressor fridge does. If I tap on that button, I can then adjust your temperature, or I can change a couple of settings in there. So I can turn on an audible alarm and a kitty lock, or I can come in, change the temperature obviously, flicking too hard, or I can come on a turbo in case I've forgotten to run your fridge. But you generally won't use many of those things, you'll just keep an eye on whether it's on or not. There's little tabs here that slide out the way for when you want to store up your unit and you're not running your fridge. Because what that does is it holds your doors ajar so that it doesn't get mouldy in there. And it gives you the option to take your beer or the ice creams out as well. For your trip, I'm going to turn the fridge off manually there, and you see it go off. So now that it doesn't matter what we do in the rest of the van, your fridge is off. So for transport and storage and the whole trip over to your place, you're not running your fridge, draining batteries and stuff. So that's where you're going to start your exercises, and the rest of the stuff in here is just going to be fun. Things like your cooker, it's just point and shoot with the gas. Can't know which one I'm trying to fire at, one at the back there. Did we open the gas bottle? There we go. So normal gas stuff, always check for heat. before you shut your lid. If you are cooking in here, you do have range hood, which all operates 12 volt. Why wouldn't it? And if you're going to use your griller or your oven, have your lid up. It won't let the gas flow go through to it anyway. You got filtered water comes out the middle vent. So change your filter occasionally, that's stashed up in here. And the rest of your kitchen, let's be honest, is a kitchen. Some of your fun stuff here, up in this cupboard, is where you hit the button for your TV. Now a lot of auto TVs like this, you've got to hold that button in. You don't. You just push the button, it comes up, it goes down. It's the same brand as your other TV. So you can just use the one remote, even though you get a couple of them, which we're going to stash all together in all this stuff up here. So you're going to get some bits and pieces from Lotus, you're going to get your instruction books. We'll talk more about them. You've also got your accessory player, either USB or disc, which is a Sony, which is the little one, which is also going to end up in your stuff. Now, you don't travel with this up. So if you're not going to be watching it, put it away. Get used to how you tune things with your remote, because it is a smart TV. There's all sorts of funky things you can do with it. And yeah, there's more things on there that we've got time to show you today. But you can get Fox, you can play just about anything you like, which is a good option. You've got so many cupboards in this thing, it's ridiculous. Like I say, I'd hate to see if you could actually fill all this up, you'd have way too much stuff. These, it's a little central lock, so just remember that when you're just trying to reef them open, you've got to squeeze in the middle. Your windows, now that your TV's disappeared nicely, up and down, split the window so that you can access your actual panel. Open it out, do it up to wherever you want it to be, and then you can still shut your blinds or your fly screen. Make sure if you shut them though, you shut all the latches. There's no right or wrong about travelling with these connected or not. So just travel with them how you like. I'll probably close them all so people can't see and keeps the heat out. Your stereo, just because we're coming back this way for a sec. You can change your outside volume. You can change both volumes at once, or you can change the inside just by tapping and turning. Some of this stuff will be fun because you get the book, so it'll talk to you a bit more depth about what you can do with it. If you tap on the FM picture, you can Bluetooth sync it. You got your USB stuff, which is up in this cupboard. So there's a USB input up there. There's also a cover for this. They're marine grade, so they are awesome. And yeah, tune it up like you would a normal TV, normal radio. They do take a little while to power up when you turn on your van the first time, so don't be shocked that. So I'll turn him off now. And we'll turn him on, and it starts linking up with all of its speakers and things. So it'll just take a little while now to catch up with us there. Now, if you're not getting a good picture, back up here above your master box is your digital antenna, which is that one up through the roof there. Once you've wound it up, you can pull the collar down and spin it around to get a better picture. When it's time to pack it up though, line up these two peaks and then wind it down. Because what it's doing now is it's going to wind down and sit in a nice little cradle on the roof, so it's out of the way. If it's down, it's done. This TV can stay up there, they're designed to mount up there. These green tabs are if you want to take it off. So don't let the kids play with that if you've got kids coming along with you. And as we go around, I'll just shut your windows. I'm also making sure that all these cupboards are latched shut. Your big pure sine wave inverter. So if I was to turn on that switch down there now, it'll start running your battery power back into your 240 outlets. So just be aware of that bad boy and what it's doing. And lock stuff up as you go. Well, I'm locking stuff up as I go. That one I'll put in your kit. Jumping around a little bit, won't we? Now down to your bathroom. Nice big shower. Now, leave the plug in the shower unless you're having a shower. The flies can come in. You don't want the flies to come in. What we would like to do is we're going to take that off and rest it on the floor so it can't bounce off in transit. You do have the roof vent, you just wind it up and then you've got a fan either in or out. So when you're having a shower you can suck the steam out. If you're away and you're trying to suck some fresh air in, you can do it that way as well. Nice big magnetic strip. Make sure you latch your treble. Washing machine. Let's be honest, it's a washing machine. Most people would just throw their dirty jocks and socks in to keep them out of the way of everywhere else. You've took what everyone wants to know about down here. Now, when it's time to use it, open the lid, open this handle here. That's direct access to your toilet cassette. Any chemicals you want to use, put them in there. The middle button is flush. It'll flush as long as you hold the button down. Once you've flushed, shut it off. Easy peasy. Little lights will come up if something's going on that needs to stop. So the cassette's missing, it's got no flush water registered, it's 3/4 full or it's full. So if something lights up here, have a look before you do your business. Your big door, you've got a foot pin and a pin. Resist the urge to pin this shut if you're in here. Because if you trip over coming out the shower, it's a very small room. So just let it slide normally. More roof hatches, more window vents. Don't be afraid to use these as vents, you know, might have been curry night. But if you're done in your bathroom, turn the light off. If you're going free camping a lot, which let's be honest, you're gonna in this, you want to turn things off and conserve your power. Big storage under your bed. And that little gizmo in the back there, right in the middle, that is your limit controller for your slide out. So don't mess with it unless you have to. It's also the slide in case you're losing power. You've got these funky lights up each side of your bed. It's either off, little blue light just so you don't trip over the dog, or the white light if you're reading in bed. Again, you'll get used to where your light switches are and how that funky Phantasmo's going. Now, your aircon, which I'll put the remote all the way down here. Look at that Mickey walking backwards, he's a star. It's point and shoot with the remote, but you can do everything from here as well. So if you do have to take these batteries out to put them in your TV remote, you can still turn your aircon off by pushing on it. You've got more things in here than you want, such as extra lights. You've got so many lights in this thing, it's ridiculous. Try and remember to turn it off for travel, which is why they give you that isolator switch. We'll leave it on now and we'll turn it off when we physically want to load up on or finish off today with the vid. Your roof hatches, you've got more lights of course. To open your hatch, swing them out of the way, pull the handle down, push up. You can latch them in here for a little bit of air. Can't get it to slide over now, which locks the handle in place. Or you can latch it just there and there for very minimal airflow in. But shut them for travel. And shut that if you're worried about the heat, which we will do. If you drive with the flyer screen across, it'll build up a sag over time. So leave that one shut, shut that one. And again, I'm turning off as many lights as I can on the way through. I'll leave this out so I remember to turn it off. Now, your nice big kick-ass lounge, we're not going to sully it by getting in there. The lever for it is up here. Find it, there it is, which allows your table to disco and spin. So you can get all the movement you need in it. If you push the button on the foot peg, the table will go all the way down or all the way up. So you can turn this into a bed if you get a cushion made up. Now, all of this stuff, random electrical bits and pieces. Oh, that's the remote, so you can do that from bed. Very easy. They give you too many remotes, you're going to have batteries coming out of them everywhere. We also split out all of your user manuals for all of your stuff. So things like your fridges, for example, it's worth flicking through just so you're fully familiar with it. And things like your TVs and things, they might ask you to send off a warranty card. Not a ridiculous idea. In case you're in Alice Springs, you can pull into the Dometic guy and he'll fix your fridge. But all of that's in there, which is all going to go in this blue bag, which is where your remotes are all going to go, including your aircon remote. Alright, now your slide out control. You've got two of them up here, one for obviously each end. That's your bedroom coming in, the one by the door. Now, if you've got lots of things on your bed, or you've got the bolster drop down to make it the longer bed, just fold some of it up. Because as we see as it comes in, it's not going to leave you a massive amount of room around the foot of the bed. So if you pull up on the side of the road, you've got a stunt roll across your bed if you want to go to the foot. So yeah, very minimal spacing around there, which is why we want you to fold the bolster up and fold the foot of your quilts and stuff up. The other one here, and you can do them both at once, but Mickey and I love taking videos. We'll slide this one in as well. Don't forget when you pull up somewhere, you need that space on that side to get them out. And now we're in. So you could get to your couch and watch the telly there if you wanted to. You can get to your fridge and get a drink out. It's a little bit hard to get to the sink, but you can. Up in here, if you turn off your water pump, turn off your aircon. For your travel today, we're going to turn your fridge off. The hot water will turn off. We'll go around and turn that one off. That panel will turn off anyway. And to turn everything off as a master, we hit that white switch up there. So now it's dark, but your van is shut down. I'll shut that one off, make sure they're latched. We're now fundamentally ready for travel.